name is Heather Induarina, and it's a great pleasure to talk to you about spirit today. Really, what could be more of a joy than to talk about spirit? And we all have different names for spirit. Some of us call spirit love, God, the divine presence, Allah, divine mother, the Holy Spirit, consciousness, Yahweh, the Great Spirit. There's so many different names that we can use, but it doesn't really matter what we call it. And actually, to label it is to really limit it to our personalized perspective. When really it's unconditional. Spirit is unconditional, and thus it can't be limited to one's personal perspective. Jackie just talked about going into that silence. We can't really label it, yet we know it's always present. However, for simplicity's sakes, so that we have a shared language about it, we're going to call it spirit today. And really, spirit can't be defined because it's the one thing that's defining everything seen and unseen. In reality, it's the ultimate creator. And even though language may fail to express the brilliance of spirit, we can perhaps use a couple of words to describe it. So I'm going to put out a couple of words perhaps that we can use to describe it, just so we have a shared understanding of spirit. And then we're going to go to an experience of it. We just had one with Jackie, but we're going to go to another one as well. So spirit perhaps can be described as being universal, which means there's nowhere that it's not. It's universal. It's everywhere. Spirit can be defined perhaps or described as being unchanging. See, everything in the world changes. It has a beginning, it has a middle, and then it has an end. But spirit is unchanging. There has to be something that all the changing nature of the world changes through. That's the unchanging aspect of spirit. And spirit also perhaps can be described as timeless. It's always present. It's actually a constant presence. It was here just a moment ago when we were talking about the body, when we were talking about mind, and also now in this very moment, spirit is present. So how do we approach that which is universal, unchanging, and timeless? Well, we can't think it into existence because it existed before our thoughts. And we need a bridge then. We need some type of bridge. And breath can be such a bridge to connect to the spirit that we are. In many traditions, including yoga, the breath is said to be the physical manifestation of spirit. It's the energy that maintains the life force of your body and of your mind. When breath is used consciously, it can be a powerful means to reveal a present moment connection with the spiritual being that you are, which also helps to facilitate a balance in the body and the mind apparatus. See, we're human beings. We have our human aspect. We have our physical aspect, the body. We have our mind, and we have our heart. But we're also human beings, and being is that spiritual side. And so what the breath does is it can be said to be the spiritual connection between the body and the mind. And you may have noticed in your life that there's a specific breathing pattern for every physical, mental, emotional, and contemplative state. So if you want to change your physical, your mental, your emotional, your contemplative states, all you need to do is change your breath. So perhaps you've noticed that when you're afraid, you may hold your breath. Or if you're angry, your breath gets really fast and aggressive. And perhaps you've noticed when you're calm, your breath flows smoothly and steadily. We can use the breath to relax the body and the mind. And when that happens, we leave ourselves open to unconditionally, without preconceived concepts, experience the spiritual being that we are. So how does that work? Well, because breath is a physical manifestation of the invisible, unmanifest spirit, we can use the breath to follow this life force energy back to its spiritual source. So this can happen only when we fully focus our attention on breath and its accompanying sounds and sensations. See, what happens when we focus on the breath is this absorbs the mind completely, which allows it to relax fully and allows it to come to stillness, as we spoke about. This in turn helps the body to relax fully. And this in turn leaves us clear to experience the present moment exactly as it is, instead of how we perceive it to be based on our past experiences. You see, the spirit can only be found in the present moment. When you are present, the presence of spirit is revealed. And that's because it's universal, it's unchanging, and it's timeless. Spirit is a constant presence right here, right now. There's actually nowhere you need to go and nothing you need to do to connect with it. It's always right here, right now. It's a part of you. Actually, the yogis say that the body is the temple of spirit, and that which is in the macrocosm of the spirit is in the microcosm of the human body and mind. So this is similar to saying that God created man in his own image. Our very body and breath are the doorway to recognizing the universal, unchanging, timeless spirit that we are. Our humanness was designed to reveal our spiritual being. Our humanness was designed to reveal our spiritual being. Spirit is actually built into our DNA, into each precious breath. When we relax the mind and the body, we allow breath to be the bridge to the spirit. And even though it's all around us, it's in us, it actually makes up the entire world, spirit cannot be approached. It can only be experienced. It's universal, unchanging, and timeless. So we use that knowledge that we've gained about the body and the mind to release what we believe we know about ourselves and the world, so that the spirit we are can shine through brilliantly. And breath is an amazing key that we carry with us everywhere we go, and it's completely free that we can use to achieve this. It's an amazing thing. And actually, in my tradition of yoga, which is breath and meditation based, we say Jai Bhagwan, and this means victory to the spirit. It's a call to rejoice that the spirit is always victorious in each of us in any given moment and in every given moment. So we gaze at each other and we bring our palms together in prayer position and we say Jai Bhagwan. And thank you for this opportunity to introduce to you perhaps a different view about spirit and to offer you what I've received. Because you truly are myself. You are the spirit that I am. We're all connected in spirit. And so I've told you that spirit can only be experienced. So I'm going to guide you into a breath meditation that's going to help you relax the body and mind so that the spiritual being that you are can be revealed to you. So just come into a comfortable seated position. And if it's available to you, just close the eyes. And if not, just let the eyes remain softly open. Relax the body, relax the abdomen, the chest, the shoulders, the face. And if at any time during this exercise you need to move or adjust to be more comfortable, please feel free to. Now simply begin to observe the natural flow of your own precious breath in and out. Just notice each breath in, each breath out, and all the accompanying sensations. And then in a very relaxed way, when we approach spirit, we do so through relaxation, not through force. Just begin to slowly deepen and lengthen your inhalations and your exhalations, just slightly. And just feel the shift as you breathe smoothly and steadily and fully through the body. If it's available, you can breathe in and out through the nose. And if not, you can feel free to use the mouth. And as you breathe in, draw the breath to the very bottom of the lungs and fill the lungs completely from the bottom to the top, as if you're filling a bottle of water. And as you exhale, empty from the top back down to the body by just letting the exhale fall out naturally and effortlessly. Tune into feeling the sensations of expansion and contraction in the body as you breathe. Feel a natural rise of expansion on each inhaling breath, first in the abdomen, then in the lower ribs, and then in the upper chest. Feel a natural release, a letting go as you exhale, first from the upper chest, then down into the ribs, and finally in the abdomen. Smooth and steady flow of breath in and out, really feeling the sensations of breathing. And if at any time the mind becomes active, it's not a problem. Just refocus your attention back on feeling the movement of breath through the body, as well as that soft lullaby of your own precious breath. Spirit whispering in your ear, I love you. As you exhale, just feel yourself letting go and emptying your cup completely. And at the bottom of the exhale, just rest for a moment in that emptiness, knowing that in the next moment, that cup will be filled once again with revitalized new breath, oxygen, spirit. And feel that revitalized energy coming in with each inhaling breath. And at the top of each inhaling breath, once again, just notice that pause. Right at the moment you're full of spirit. And rest there. And then once again, without fear, let go into the next exhale. Empty. Pausing. And feel that natural cycle. Receiving, letting go. And at the top of the next inhaling breath, as you relax into that pause, just release any control over your breath and rest in that stillness and silence at the top of the breath, where you're completely full of spirit, open and free. So connected that you can allow the next exhalation to happen effortlessly. You can remain anchored in that stillness, that openness, that expansiveness, that peace with each breath cycle. With each cycle of your life. You can return back to the conscious breathing anytime you need to reconnect to the spirit that you are. And then once again, relax in that pause at the top of the inhale, anchored in peace and openness and love. So that you can approach your life from that place, that experience of wholeness. And to put that to practice, remain anchored in that peace, that wholeness, as you gently begin to open up the eyes and let the senses of the world come into you, remaining anchored in peaceful awareness of the spiritual being that you are. And Jai Bhagwan, victory to the spirit. And for more information about me and my services, you can visit my website, which is up on your screen, and I'll put in the chat as well. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure being with you.